Do you want to the museum? You can take this.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
You can see so much, and you can look so much. Look there, bysten. It's my father Julius. He wished to have this building, the museum.
My grandmother would have liked that very well.
Det er lin.
Ja.
Da kan du ta med deg en tråd. Vær så god.
Thank you.
From the in ei panne og var det mye her? Og her? Yes. Then it is for close to. Så sett her, sånn. Og så ruller de rundt. Ser du hva da? Men kom så fort jeg kan da. Ja, yes. Ja, I am so glad my family will come here and take you around. What you can say, where do you want to go now?
Hello.
Hello.
All the things here are from the farm over there. My family, actually, my wife's family.
Okay.
So it's my wife's grandfather who built it. So this is all this furniture and clothing and so on. It's things that himself or his parents has owned. So it comes from that farm, and he was very occupied about old things, and he started when he was quite young. And other people just threw things away, thought it's nothing worth. He collected it and paid for it, and in the end he couldn't have it at home, so he built a museum. So most of the buildings here are built as museums, but there are also some houses that have been taken here just as they were. All this clothing here and these cloths here have been made by the people over there.
Oh, yes.
So
It's handmade.
it's handmade, yeah.
Handmade.
Yes, it's on heckling.
Yeah.
She was born in 1863. Who made this?
Yes.
It was before you couldn't call. At that time, very few people had telephones.
Yeah.
So they were among the first to have one. I remember myself from the place where I lived, grew up in the 1960s. When we had to call the doctor or something, we had to go to the nearest farm and lend a telephone. The room here is things that Julius Grasåsen, who built the museum, owned. I can't tell you about this oven here. That it was. They found that on a farm. It was used in front of the door, outside, as a step.
Oh my gosh, that's how we
And
found
then
it.
Julius said, no, you can't use it in that way. So we bought it, paid for it, and took it in here.
It's beautiful.
Og der lager på Nesved.
Den er made in Nesved, near here. Den ligger seg i dag, det er sånn skole på oss. Den er helt sikkert til. This is what a school looked like in the beginning of the 19th century. Myself, I was a teacher in the school in Vegårshei before, but now I'm a pensioner.
Yeah.
But I've never taught here. And this is the book that I used until I went to school. I even used this one.
Really?
In the 1960s. That's a book from telling about the Bible stories. When we came to school, we had to stand up and tell the story by heart.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what you would like to see now. There are a lot of other buildings. This way, small shops looked like 100 years ago. And it's quite strange when I see how small this building is. And I know how many different things they were selling. They sold every kind of things. So of course they had stored something behind in how they could exist from selling from such a small shop. It's quite strange. They didn't need so much money because they didn't travel, they didn't go anywhere, they didn't go to the town to buy something, just, maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Ja, det kan du.
Well, this is how people lived in the 19th century.
Oh wow, this is really old.
Of course, the people who lived here were poor people. And on the big farms, they had small houses like this placed around, and people who lived here had to work for the big farmers. In this small building could live up to 10, a family of up to 10 people. This building was used until 1952. And then in 1995 it was moved from the place where it stayed, not far from here, but to this place, so people could see it. And the furniture in here is very much like that it was. This is a well where they fetched water.
I was going to say there's
But here they
just
took
threw
a
down
bucket
a
of
bucket.
water
bucket.
and a rope,
Yeah, and then pull it up.
pulled it up again. This building was built in 1829 and comes from a place called Limir. This was so big that they had to take it apart and then put it together again, and they came here. So it was quite a big job. So if you come into here, you see it's a much bigger building. The stove here didn't come from that house, but from another house. where they, of course, could put wood in there and cook on here. And of course, they cooked there as well, but when they got this oven, it was a progress because it was much easier to use. This oven here is made on Landsverk.
Yeah. It's what?
Yeah,
Landsverk oven.
quite typical.
These plates here are quite typical for the time, for rich people to have. And here, oatmeal, potato meal and rice. But of course it wasn't among the richest, but it was more, say, at middle class, if you could compare it to England. We may go up on the floor. Want to? That was where the women were working, making carpets. Especially this one was very popular.
Yeah.
So in most homes in Norway we had carpets like that until the late 19th century. So in my home we had a lot of carpets like this when I was a boy. So they were very popular. And here was the sleeping room, the bedroom. This is was quite common to have as well. Put all their clothes in it.
Yeah.
Not so many cupboards. Put clothes into trunks like that.
So there's a date on it usually. So is it 1785?
Yeah, 1785.
Yeah, it's 1785. That's
Whoa.
right.
That's why we're here.
Yes. That boat over there is Anders, the brother, Åse's brother who built, and he was a young man.
Really?
And he used it for racing. 1898.
Oh, really?
I think we could take a look at the building over there. We are happy to have a railway in Norway, in Vegårshei, I mean, and here are some equipment used from the railway, uniforms and so on. And these are people who have worked on the station here, the railway station in Vegårshei, from 1935 up to it was closed in 81, I think. So in here was the shoemakers. And here's all the different sizes for different kinds of shoes, from small children to big, and different machines they use. So we had different shoemakers here. Hovland was one of them. So most of the equipment here is from his. Yes, it was very come because of Landsverk. And they had such charcoal kilns all around here. They had to make wood, of course, and so they could get coal to warm up the ovens down there in Landsverk. This is a model of how they built it. The forest here was cut down, a lot of it, to make enough coal for Landsverk.
Yeah.
And they even bought the farms up here to get enough wood.
Yeah.
So poor farmers had to sell their farms to the rich people down at Landsverk. But afterwards it was sold back to the farmers when they stopped producing coal. have never produced honey myself, so I don't know exactly what to do, but we are going to work with the bees.
Yes. A smoker.
Have to use a smoker like
Right.
this. You have to get some fire
Right.
in here, and then smoke is coming out. The bees will, and of course you have to have interest.
Thank you very much.
I did my best, but of course my mother-in-law knows much more about everything, but she can't speak English. So.